Islam. Happy Sunday, everyone. Yes, it is. It has. How have you been? No, I think that it's like the glittery side of my eyes. Like I removed my makeup and my face was all red, so probably went to my eyes as well. Because I forgot to do the double cleansing last night, so maybe I got a bit of makeup left. So hello, it's personal. Oh yes, you too. Sorry guys that I'm eating. It's just that I woke up a few minutes ago and I didn't have breakfast yet. And another reason why my eyes are watery is because I was trying to light incense, but it's too strong. It's too strong. That's why my eyes got a bit watery. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining, Islam. Here it's the opposite. Here I'm with the AC on because it's really hot outside. We are in summer, so very close to being summer, and it definitely the high temperatures you can feel it already. Actually, I was supposed to come live at 10 and now it's 9. But I did it because my relatives came um, very early and they are making a lot of noise and just talking and gathering there with my dad, like in another side of my house, but they are very loud. So I was like, no, I have to start the live before they get to talk really loud, and I don't want them to interrupt. Um, it's really hard to do a live, actually. For me, I do have noisy neighbors also, so people that think that it's just to turn on the camera and that's it have no idea of the job that you do to actually decide to start a live stream. Um, because you always get interruptions, like you have to make sure that the room is okay. No, actually it's just me and my dad, but today my uncle my aunt and another friend of the family came. So and since they are like, I don't want to say they are old people because they had always been loud. So I don't think it's an age thing, but probably they have the custom to talk very loud, and then they don't realize that they are being loud. So no matter how many times you tell them to, tone it down a bit, they don't see it. They and my dad is 77, so I cannot tell him what to do. I cannot tell him what to do. Hmm. Yes, it's really hard. It's really hard because, especially since what we do, it's like a very strong connection. I definitely take my time to pull the cards. And we often talk about how we feel and things that happen in K-pop. That so it's a very intimate kind of um, encounter. So everything needs to be like, you know, calm. Where are you from, Terrell? I believe maybe that's the name of your. Do you have like a business that is says Terrell Cosmetics, Subliminals? Oh, you're from California. Oh, it's really early over there, isn't it? Isn't it like 4 hours? You're 4 hours behind. Like, mm, are you a K-pop fan? The light was also bothering me. Oh, TXT. I love TXT. Maybe you can pull some cards for them later to do some update for them. Hey Gia, good morning. Vanessa, do you have a favorite animal or an animal you connect with a lot? I do love cats. I have two cats, a white one and a black one. I do love cats. I think that for me, there's so much. I had dogs before when I was like younger, but since we live in a city, and everything is so, we don't have like a large garden, and sometimes dogs get really anxious. I remember having a very small, like a Chihuahua kind of dog, And he would get really, really anxious when people came over. Like he wanted to play, and there was, and everything was full of cement, so he didn't have the space to run, you know. So I always felt very sad about having a dog. But when I had like, yes, when I had my first cat, uh, that it was in my early 20s, like or 18. I was 18. Like that was the first time I had a cat, my cat, you know, because we always had cats in the house, but it was either my mom's or my grandmother, because my grandma used to collect cats from the streets and just bring them home, and then she would get into an argument with my dad because my dad used to not like animals in general. So he would always complain like they're making a mess, and so she would have to just give them away. So when I was old enough, I I got my first cat. Her name was Preta. That I believe that Preta, it means black in Portuguese. Um, she wasn't a black cat, but for me she was like very wild, so I always picture her. I don't know why, but I always picture animals like um like a person, and I don't know why I felt like she was Brazilian, like she was Brazilian, like she was a black female. I don't know why. Her colors were white and gray, you know, and she had this very long fluffy hair, you know, and not hair, fur. But I remember that I used to think that she was a black female because she had this attitude, and she was very, you know, she was a whole persona, you know, herself. And I had her for almost like 9 years, 9 years, until she got sick and she died. I was very sad about that because she died very painfully. She had a disease and she was in coma, and then when after I sent her to the bed, when I came back a few hours after, she was already gone. So they gave me my cat dead. So it was very traumatic for me. I was very sad. Actually, I was going through a breakup as well, so I was very sensitive. And and my mom took like um, she got another cat for me, and she took her home. That is Luna, my white cat. And I remember at first I didn't want anything to do with another cat. I just wanted my cat. I was so angry. I was so in denial. I didn't want another cat. And I remember watching her when she was a little kitten, saying, "Oh, she's so ugly," because poor thing, she was so in such a bad condition, because she had a lot of fleas, like an eye infection. Hair was missing of her. She looked really ugly, like really ugly. Um, and I remember we had to wash her. We had to take her to the vet a lot of times. And she's a beautiful cat now. And she had been with me. I think it's been 9 years since she had been with me. Um, Actually, she's very special to me because my mom gave her to me. You know, my mom passed away 5 years ago. She's going to be 5 years this February. So I'm very attached to her, but at the same time, I realize that she is getting old, you know, and cats, they have their longevity, you know, and especially white cats, they have a lot of issues, health issues, and I'm starting to see that for Luna, and I get worried, but well, it's life. And then I have another black cat that it's my dad's cat, that her name is Negrita. She really is a black cat, and I call her Negrita because actually Luna, I used to call her like Blackie also. I used to like put her a nickname as Blackie. So whenever I call Negrita, she always listens and pays attention because she thinks that I'm calling her. But I don't know. I always thought that my cats had like a black female in them. I don't know why. I don't know why. I have no idea. But I always had this perception that especially because they are all females, we tend to have female cats because they are a bit more clean. Um, and but I always picture them like black females. I don't know why. But Negrita is indeed a black cat, and she's so wild. She's my dad's cat, and we got her after a few weeks after my mom passed away. I wanted a cat to keep my dad company, like to keep him with, so he doesn't feel lonely. He never liked cats, nor he never had a pet of his own while he was an adult. But he got really attached to Negrita. Actually, she's a great companion. They both get along. They sleep together in the same bed. Like, they resemble each other a lot. It's true when they say that a cat is very similar to the personality of their owner. I think that definitely that's it's true. But I think that cats are special because I definitely think that they help you release a few things. Like I definitely believe that cats are that powerful. Whenever they are, they seem to banish like any kind of like negativity, or when they feel like you are ill or that you're low in energy, they always like are around you or try to sit on top of you, or they are whenever I'm having my period or my period is near, one of them comes and sits on my lap like and really like position themselves there. So definitely they know. I'm sorry about you. I never had to deal with with a bad person, but sometimes I feel like my boy cat is a person too. Cats always have their own unique personalities. Yes, yes, and and this is before TikTok existed because I actually me as a cat person, I love to watch cat videos. I think that there are some cats that are worth watching because they're so beautiful and they have their own routine. They're funny. But sometimes I don't agree with certain things about the care of a cat. A cat is not a toy. A cat is not a toy. I sometimes when I watch certain certain TikToks, content creators, that they they definitely get the views, but I don't think that you should dress up your cat. Don't put clothes on your cat. They even feel uncomfortable when you put them a collar. Imagine if you dress them. Like there are a lot, or they just scare the cat on purpose. Just to record the reaction, and I don't think that's funny. Then they want to make memes out of that. But I don't think that is funny to to scare a cat or to try to teach them something because they are not dogs. You know. Hello, Ivan. Yes, they know. They know when you're feeling down. Yes, they know. Yes. Yes, dogs too. What dogs have is that it's very dogs are very sweet, are very loyal. I think that dogs, you can definitely, if you ever want to experience like an unconditional love, you have to get a dog because the dogs definitely have a sort of tenderness. Like it's beautiful. My stepdad came in, so I get very sensitive on this subject of pet. Yes, I know. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I come from a family that actually they had animals, but they never learned to take a proper care of them. They never took them to the vet, and actually they were very like harsh on animals. Especially because my dad's family are from the countryside of the from the province, so they don't know much about taking care of animals. So yes, I definitely I have experienced what you're talking about. So that's why when I was old enough, I got my first own cat. um but yes, I know what you mean with actually having a pet. It's a lot of responsibility. Like you cannot feed a cat with anything. Like you cannot give them like there are certain foods that they cannot eat. um so it's not just to give them leftovers, or just like raw meat or raw chicken. You have to cook for them, or you have to buy like very specific brands of food. So it's a whole responsibility because cats are very sensitive. For my cat, for the white cat, I have to get sunscreen for her. So imagine. Hey Ivan. Oh, it's a yes, it's a I don't know how it's pronounced. It's a tapestry or tapestry. Tapestry. Yeah, it's not painted. It's a cloth. It's beautiful. I'm a huge fan. If you know me, you know that I love red. Red is my favorite color. So in my house, I try to get these colors because, like, I don't want to paint any walls or anything, but I definitely need in certain areas of the house. I need very bright colors, and red, um, yellow, um, um, orange. They definitely lift you up. They lift you up. They lift up the room. Hello, Austin. Yes, they are very loyal. Yes, yes, it's personal. They are very loyal. I'm not really fond of cats that much. Really strange, independent, and mysterious creatures. But whenever when there are cats around, they always seem attracted to me. I don't know why. Yeah, probably because cats actually do approach people that do not want to be approached. And actually, when I was really young, I loved cats. Like whenever I went somewhere and saw a cat, I would follow the cat around, and not to bother them, just to be around them. And they would run away from me. So definitely, if they follow you, it's because they definitely see something in you. So I think that you should let yourself like open to the experience of letting the cat, like if they want to like be around you, if they want to sit on top of you, just let them. They know what they're doing. And actually, to tell you a story about cats and about how unpredictable they are and how we shouldn't forget that they are animals. I had a situation when I was like about 9 years old. Like we used to have this cat that this was this very old cat. I think that when I was 9, he was already like 13 years old. He was a huge cat. Uh, he was old, but he was okay. Actually, when I was born, he would always live. He would always lay down near my crib, and so he would know me. So I remember that one day we came back home with my grandma, because we had to get something out of the house to go to take to some other place. So we were just like getting something and then going back to the other place, you know. So my grandma, who opened the front door of my house, she was like, she saw the cat, so she was like, she was opening the door, she was like, don't let him in, like not to let the cat in, because actually like we were on our way to go. So, and in my attempt to grab the cat, so he, because he was sleeping through our legs trying to get in, so I wanted to like grab him so he wouldn't come in, and he scratched me in the face, and he had never done that. Never. And I swear that I didn't like touch a sensitive area, nor I didn't grab him aggressively. No, I just like, I wanted to grab him. He was a huge cat, but I knew how to hold him, you know. And actually, I never hold him. It's just, it was for that occasion only, to try to prevent him from entering the room. And he just turned around and he scratched me. Like, I don't know, I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see it here. Can you see the mark? Can you see, like, it looks like a moon. It looks like a crescent moon. Mm. Yeah, and that's my my gift of him. And I swear that I bled so much. My grandma took me to the bathroom to clean me, and you know, and blood keep coming in, because you know the scratch of a cat is really deep. So and I saw that she was so like uh, like afraid, because she was, it's so near to my eye, it's so near that she was like, oh my god, it scratched her eye, you know, because it's really near, it's really near. So you know, that's why I never, I swear, since, see, I had a huge respect for that cat. I didn't even pet him. So you can like imagine the level of respect, like, because he was like an old cat, so, and a huge cat at the same time, and not very loving. He was a cat that actually slept outside, so he would come over just to eat, I think, like, but I knew he was my cat, like I knew he was the house cat. So that's why when you think, and you know, I never, because I know there are kids and there are people that just are very intense with animals, you know, they love to grab them and squish them, and no, I never even like pet him like this. So I don't know, when maybe he was having an awful day or something was hurting, and he felt like on the defense, he felt this on the defense, and he scratched me. So that's when you, sometimes you cannot take for granted the cat's nature. You know, you cannot take for granted, I mean, like, oh, because it's my cat, it's like, oh, the like, you know, I mean, my cat is never going to have a crazy day, you know, like, um when it comes to my own cats, since they are females and they have been, you know, nurtured, so they do not have babies, um I noticed that, for example, for Luna, you cannot touch her belly. She doesn't like it when you touch her belly. She gets very uncomfortable. She gets very on the defensive. In this whole area, you cannot touch her. Her paws, she doesn't like to be touched as well. Her tail, don't even touch her tail. She doesn't like to be touched in her legs. You know, she just, you can pet her here. That's all you can do with her. That's all you can do with her. Then Nerita is a bit more like loving. She's a bit more free. You can rub her belly and everything. She would even spread herself so you can like caress her. But there's a sort of limit to what how much you can like caress an animal. You know, you cannot be like intense with them. So for example, Negrita, I can hold her in my arms, but just a bit, just for 3 seconds, and then she wants to get off. You know, it's not that they're going you grab them and they're going to be like this with you. No, I don't force my cats to be with me like that because I wouldn't want someone to be like that with me. So I used to play with pets when I'm younger, but now I never think to get one at all because it's need a lot of care and time to understand them. Yes, Eva, maybe when you have your own space or you have your own family, you know, you can think about getting one. The right time will come, but yes, there's a lot of work. Cats are crazy sometimes. My sister just start act like crazy without reason and run over the room like crazy. They make me freak out and run away. Yes, they do have their crazy moments. Yes, they do. Especially at 3 in the morning, they have their crazy moments. And then when people overstep the boundaries with cats and the cat reacts, they wanna call the cat mean. Now you just did too much. Yes, exactly, exactly. That's the reason, yeah. Like in my case, what happened with my cat, I never blamed my cat. Never. I never, um, I've never blamed my cat. Um, Never. Um, because, like, I don't know why it was me. Probably if my grandma would have grabbed them, I don't know. Why are these people spamming? Hey Parvati, good morning. Yes, I can turn. Yes, and I want to let people know, people that are coming in, that I do not do personal readings. The only personal readings I do are like from my email and they are paid, so you have to pay to get a personal reading with me, or a personal reading for your idol if you want. The readings that I do in my lives or in my channel are for K-pop groups or idols of our choice, the ones that we choose here in the community. But I do not read for people. I mean, I do them when I'm not on the channel, of course, but those are paid. I should start with my reading for Minho, Chinese Minho. Hey, Gabby. Parvati, can I put you as an administrator so you can like get rid of some spam? Thank you. Yeah. Actually, yesterday's live was really good. Like, actually, I got really frustrated with the infinite. I was rewatching my live and I was like, oh, I got really frustrated with Woollim and Infinite tarot reading. Like, but it's just that the energies were so contradictory. Like, you have no idea. Like, I wanted to get some clarity, and actually, I wasn't able to do that. And I got a new deck, but that deck, it has like a sort of esoteric elements, so it's so complex to read. So that's why I didn't bring it with me because it's so complex. Like, I didn't want to have it here and you know not knowing how to read it. Actually, it's not that I don't know how to read it. It's just that I would save it for personal readings. Not for K-pop idols. Sometimes I try to change decks for a different person. It depends. Okay, let's get some cards for Shinee's Minho. I just want to pull a card from the Oracle of the Chakras. Oh, and someone was asking me what I was drinking. I'm drinking mate. That mate is a traditional Argentinian hot drink that is just like an herbal tea, but you drink it with a straw, and actually you go like you sip from here, and you go like you pour water every time you want to drink again. So it somehow you can have it like for a while, like me, as long as you have like the water like uh, with the proper heat, you're going to be able to drink it for a while. So it's a cool average. Like and actually this is made like this so you can share with others. Like, I mean, I could pour it like and share it with others. I don't do personal readings. I only read for K-pop. Okay. He had really beautiful cards. Beautiful cards. Minho got Four of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, the Strength card, Eight of Cups, and from the Oracle he got the card of Joy. So yes, there's no need for me to say that he's feeling great. I think that actually Minho has been celebrating for a while. Definitely, I can sense like a lot of Sagittarius optimism here. Like, he definitely is a guy that he had been working on himself to really put the past behind him. Yes, definitely. I think that he is a guy that probably he was in. There was a period, a time in his life where he felt stuck. Like I think that sometimes for him it's not easy to talk about how he feels. So, but something changed his life. Something happened. Like he started to be a bit more open to the idea of talking about things that happened to him in the past and being like, okay, I need to work on this because somehow this is preventing me from moving on. And definitely I think that there was a point where he was losing his ability to enjoy what he was doing, probably as an artist. He was a bit, and I don't think that it's just him. Probably it was him and Shinee. Like when they were like stuck in a period of not knowing if continuing would be the right thing to do because somehow people couldn't move on, so they couldn't move on either. There was like a lot of conflict here. I think that for Minho is not that he didn't want to move on. It's just that other people didn't let him forget. Like, and this is not about to forget what happened or that. This is more about like really healing. Really healing. Probably there were people that used to always like bring out the past. Like, this. So he was caught up in a cycle of like, okay, I guess we are entering a new stage, and it's like, oh, no, 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 like we are dragged. And it's funny because I think that it was people like reminding them of things that they knew already. It's like you cannot tell someone an anecdote or a story, a narrative of something that they went through themselves. He knows the story of the group. He knows what they went through as a group. He knows his members. So he doesn't need outsiders to tell him, oh, look what you guys went through. Look at this. It must have been difficult. They know. They went through it. But somehow, people, the society, just wanted to keep bringing that subject so they could be a bit more like sensationalist, and probably trying to break him or break them or make him cry. They wanted to create this very like, and for him it was like, I will heal in my own time, and also I will heal in my privacy, because he is a very proud person. He has a lot of pride. He's a very masculine guy. He's a very masculine person. And with this, I'm not saying that it's just a masculine feature. I'm saying that there's this sense of him standing his ground, and being like, I'm not going to let you treat me like a puppet so I can entertain you. I think that probably there are members that are a bit more flexible, that are a bit more like um that they should shapeshift into the audience want them to be. But in his case, he's like, no, like I am my own person, and I will heal in the privacy of at my pace. Like, and you're not going to make money out of this. You're not going to get like a confession. You're not going to get a book. This is my personal. This is our story. So like, he is very. He has a bit of. He's a bit of authoritative. He is. He's someone that probably, I don't know much about Minho, but probably if he gets angry, he does scare a few people. He's like, I'm not your puppet. I'm not your dog. So don't pretend like you know me, because you don't know me at all. And when someone says about the military enlistment, definitely I see him like coming back stronger because somehow that experience allowed him to connect with the masculine side of them. I think that I mentioned this when I think that when we were talking about BTS and the enlistment or Jin and the enlistment, and it was this possibility for them to connect with their masculine self. And with this, I don't mean that they're not masculine enough. It's just that their role in society or their profession, the arts, being artistic, you have to somehow integrate and soften a lot of aspects of yourself and connect with the femininity, with the feminine side of you. You know, being softer, being sweet, being romantic. So being very aesthetic, being beautiful, being like flawless and gentle, and somehow the enlistment and all the chores and all the responsibilities and all these months in there somehow help you build a sort of character, you know and then I think that definitely he is connecting with joy, that this is the last card that he got. He's a very happy guy. He's a very happy guy, and I think that I don't know. I think that he had always been happy. I don't know how to say this because actually I think that he got the wheel of fortune, so definitely there's a lot of changes in his life. But I think that there's a sense of him trying to keep a positive mind. It doesn't matter how hard life gets. Um, so I think he's at this space where he's just connecting with his body. I think that somehow he was traumatized in his body. There was a moment where hello Rim, where actually his body hurt a lot because of the emotional things that he couldn't like express. So his body was hurting a lot. But now that he had done the work. He had done the work. Now he's like more free. He's like more free. This is the card of joy. He's like, and he's very happy because I don't know. I think that he got what he wanted. Like, this is something about Minho that I think that is very important to say, is that he doesn't do what others tell him to do. He does his own person. Like, he is his own boss. In a sense that you cannot get him to do something if he doesn't agree. And in this sense, it's not that he is inflexible, or it's just that he is in a period where he's like, okay, if I'm going to release something or if I'm going to do something, I want to like what I do or what I'm sharing with the fans. I really want to like this album. I want to like the production. I want to like this. Like, I don't want, like, I want to identify with what I'm sharing with the fans. I don't want any like shitty track. Like, give me the good stuff. Really, he definitely is like very, like, I wouldn't say he's authoritative, but he is very stubborn in this sense. Like, he's like, please don't come and give me someone's leftovers. Really, I want this album to do great. Like, I want to give quality, and I want to have fun while doing it. So give me something that represents in the state that I am right now. I don't want to sing about things that do not represent me. I do not want that. I want to leave a very strong mark about my essence. I want my essence to be in the salon, and I want to enjoy it. I want to be like, oh yes, if I would listen to this album, I would like it myself. He's a very passionate guy. He's a very passionate guy. But in this moment, he's like, more than ever, he's like, don't ruin my parade. Don't come here to ruin my parade. This is my moment. So, get away. People that are not positive, people that trying to bring him down, people that are trying to. It seems like he doesn't want to tone things down. He wants things to be marvelous. He wants things to be amazing, to be attractive, to be like a party, like a celebration. He wants to celebrate with people. He wants to bring his audience and his fans a reason that people can celebrate with his music, so that they can celebrate his growth and how much it took him for him to be here still. This is something that probably people take for granted, that they should be thankful that these artists are still here, talking about love and talking about hope and talking about all those things that at some point it was difficult to be able to celebrate. I think he felt for a while like he was not allowed to celebrate. Somehow he had to be like all the time to be sad, to be blue, to be like down. He was like, but I don't feel like this. Like, I want to show a brighter side of me. I want the fans to see that I am enjoying this. Otherwise, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, and he's going to continue working on something else. He does have another projects that are still in the making, but definitely you will hear from him again. Probably there's something about acting as well. He's still reviewing that. But yes. Oh yes, it is. Oh. Wait, that I'm going to write down the readings that we are doing so far, because then when I need the timestamps, thank you Spirit for the timestamps of yesterday's live. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to pull some cards for TXT and their next comeback. Is it confirmed, the comeback? Yes, exactly, Rim. It was like they took away from me my ability to be happy. And it's like, but that was also very cruel, because you cannot tell people how to do their mourning process. Of course that they are public figures, but I think that there were a lot of people that wanted to manipulate them, especially in interviews, to somehow bring out this tragic event so they can make headlines. Or I don't know, there was someone also offering them to write a book or something like that. There's a lot of using all this for clout, obviously. And he was like, no. He was like, no. I think that he's one of the members, that's what I'm getting. That he's one of, then I'm going to pull cards also for Onew. because Onew is also a Sagittarius. Um, let's not forget about Onew. He does have his fans, and I'm sure that his fans want cards for him. So let's be, you know, a good community, and let's give Onew also his time. Now I'm going to pull cards for TXT. TXT, next combat. Oh, I wanted to pull a few cards, 4 cards, and a lot of come out. They got the cards of the Hermit. They got the cards of the Hermit, 7 of Cups, the Hierophant, the Emperor, 6 of Cups. I know there are so many. I was supposed to only pull 4, but all these came out, so I have to see them. 5 of Cups, 9 of Swords. And then from the Oracle of the Chakras, they got the card of Self-Esteem. Hello, Spirit. Welcome. I was just talking about you. I was mentioning how grateful I am that you did the timestamps of yesterday's live. Wait, guys, I'm going to heat this water because it's... Okay, guys. Hello, Maruska. Oh, I was going to... I was heating the water for the mate because it got cold all of a sudden. Just that the AC is so cold all of a sudden, so the water got cold. Because I don't know if you noticed that during my my the recording of my readings, I often cough a lot. And not, it's not because of the IC. It's more about, I don't know why, but reading cards sometimes it gets me feel like really thirsty, so I need to drink something while I'm doing this. Okay. Um, Definitely, I think that TXT, they are working on themselves. They got the Hermit. The Hermit is the first card that they got. I think that they definitely are focusing a lot on themselves. Like they want to show something different. Like I don't know why they feel the need to show a different side. Like there's a lot of inner work. They are very self-aware that they have a lot of options, that they have the possibility to make, like to create great things for themselves. But somehow I don't know why I feel like they do not have the freedom to do it. Because I have a very strong here, a very strong hierophant with the emperor. So I think that they are trying to work on themselves, and they probably, like behind closed doors, they talk a lot among each other. Hey Samara. They talk a lot among each other. They reflect a lot about the experience, because it had been a while actually after they debuted, so they have their own, like they really are very introspective, you know, they are very self-aware that they are not children anymore, and that actually they have the potential to do greater things. But somehow I feel here with this Hierophant and with this Emperor that there are like they are pawns in this game, you know, that of course that we know that when we're thinking about, you know, a big company, or it's obvious that there's higher ups or there's other people's interest in the middle, and of course that the people that put the money is they are the rulers of the situation. But I think that for TXT is this huge, like, I don't want to say that they sabotage this kid's success, but it seems like their speech is very ambiguous, in a sense that probably they do tell the guys to work on themselves, to write lyrics, to, you know, to create, like be creators, be creative, like, you know, like, yes, it seems like they encourage them to write their own things, but then at the end they do not use what they do, or they do not, it seems like they toss them aside, you know, like, oh yes, you brought this for me, okay, I will review it, but you know, there's this sense of like, we are busy, like we don't have time for this. So I think that for TXT it's actually a very sad, you know, when you feel like the unwanted child, and this is actually very harsh to say, but they feel like things have changed. And I think that I had mentioned this, I believe it was in Subin's reading. They have they have the six of cups. So there's this longing for the past, you know, for what it had been. Somehow there was a plan for them, but that plan didn't go that well. So they are in this sort of like, they feel a bit empty, you know, like, oh, you promised that this would happen to us, and no, it didn't, you know. And they feel like a bit like disappointed. There's a huge disappointment inside. And then you have the nine swords. So there's a lot of worries. They do worry. They do worry a lot. They worry. Um, and actually, um, they got the card of self-esteem. So I think that this is the key to everything. This is the key to everything. That maybe they are too much in their heads. Like they are just over analyzing everything. Like thinking like, oh, we didn't do well. Like we could have been greater. Like we should do. Like they are trying to get someone's approval. Like we have to show them that everything that the hopes that they put on us, we have to show them that we really can make it. Like they want a greater success, but this, it has to do with this. It has to do with this. It has to do with self-esteem. They do not feel worthy. It seems like something happened. Something happened. I don't know if it's the way they perceive that people are treating them, or they feel like they are not special anymore, or they feel like they are not being treated correctly. Because actually I don't see like lacking. I don't see, obviously we're talking about, a big company, like, there's no lacking here, but it seems like there's a lot of restrictions. When they want to do something, it's like, no, wait, that we will decide when you will do this and how you will do this, and then we will let you know. In a sense that they are not in control of anything in their careers. They are not in control of anything in their careers. It's like, oh yes, it's a speech, like, yes, of course, you should write your own lyrics. Yes, of course, we have a lot of songwriters here, so, yes, you should become one of them. Like, yes, submit all your ideas. We will take them into consideration. At the end of the day, there are more famous people that do get a say in, and they don't. So I don't know if they feel like they didn't live up to the expectations. I don't know. There's something here with self-esteem. And they definitely compare themselves a lot to others. And this is something that they have to work on. Because this does affect their self-esteem and how they view each other. There's a sense of, like, when will we get to this success? There's this, I want to show you the cards of this. There's the Seven of Cups. See? They're like this card. Wow, thinking of the possibilities. Like, how can I reach this? And they never reach it. Because actually, I think that they are very restricted in their... I think that probably TXT, I wouldn't say they are one of the most restricted, but I think that probably the company had always been restrictive. The company had always done like this. They had always been restricted. They are not that free. At least not with this group. You have to prove yourself before they allow you to be a bit more free. They do not have control. It seems like whenever they try to get something, like an idea, like an initiative, it seems like they're like, there comes this Hierophant and this emperor, and they are like, where are you going? Like, no, you cannot do anything without our consent. Without our consent. Actually, this happens with big companies always. Like, people think that because the artists talk about, very deep subjects that they are actually the badass. Like they are really like this, like, oh, I do my own life. No, actually they don't. Um, I mean, they can get a bit rebellious. They can get a bit like on the defensive, but I think that they will not get. They will get a bit of something, but not that much. Not that much. But they definitely do feel it. So I don't know if someone had said something to them. There was something like they had a conversation or they heard someone saying a few things that they really were bothered by this, and it touched the way they. I think that at the beginning they were really confident, but then eventually they started to notice that the attention that they used to be someone's favorite, and then all of a sudden someone, like, I don't know if they were praising some other group and they were like, oh, that should have been us, and I think that they do have an inferior complex, inferiority complex. They do feel less than others, and I don't know why, but they do have it. This is why they got the card of self-esteem. They have to work with their self-esteem. They definitely have to work on that, because I think that probably it's all in their minds as well. I think that they overthink too much. They are a bit paranoid about, like, oh, what if they become like bigger than us, and or what if they get more recognition than us. There's something about these guys that they need to get control of their minds and of their own value. It's not, because yes, more groups will keep coming, so yes, yeah, now it's on the girl groups. Yes. it's it's just that TXT is successful. TXT is successful. This is why we're talking about them. TXT is successful, but I think that they themselves have to be a bit more confident, and I'm saying this as an individual. I think that this is what the cards are showing. That doesn't have anything to do with talent, no recognition. This has to do with the problem of themselves. Probably these guys, some of them, I don't want to say all the members, but some of them do have like an inferiority complex. So they need to work on that, because they cannot keep like having this view of themselves, like being so small, like feeling so sorry for themselves somehow. Yes, it's just that that's what I'm saying. It's not about talent. They are talented. It's just that I think that probably they sabotage themselves a lot. They do feel the pressure. Probably they do feel like they cannot talk about their weakness. Probably they are a very emotional group, and they cannot get out of that. I don't know if some of them are very introvert, including the leader. The leader is also very introvert. Yes, yes, they are like always like looking at the others, looking at what the others are doing, but not just in their company. They're looking at other groups as well, and they are like, wow, if only we can show that confidence like the others do. Yes, they did really well. Look, let's pull up the cards to see if they're going to be successful. Um, they have to heal themselves. They have to heal themselves first. to achieve success. Because somehow there's something in these guys. Does anyone know if some of them have like some mental issue, like some anxiety, something? Because they always get the Nine of Swords. So there's something about their mental state that it's a bit like chaotic. So I don't know if maybe there's some members that do suffer of. Hmm. But they are very like detached from what you see about their accomplishments. You do have the numbers, you do have the charts, you do have everything. But themselves as individuals, you have to think that the tarot is a tool that goes beyond numbers, go beyond what it's exposed. It goes deeply into the unconscious, into what is not said, into what is hidden. So here I'm seeing that these guys have a lot of anxiety, that they are not confident enough, that they keep receiving offers, that they will continue receiving offers. It's not that they are not going to stop working. It's not that they are not going to be successful. It's more that their mindset has to change, or at least someone has to support them or give them some tools or something to fight with this, because they got very like pessimist cards. So they should pay attention to this. They should pay attention to this. Like, what's going on with these guys? Yes, I think that's the thing. I think that also the audience, like, they think that because like the group has reached a level of, for example, look at BTS. Look at how many awards and how many number one they got. They got a lot of them. But then they released, they gave this in their interview in this what was it, the celebration of their anniversary, the festa, where actually RM broke down and he started talking about how difficult it was for him as an individual to really not tell the fans everything that is going on with their minds, but to also let them know that they are tired. It's like, hello, like, I don't want to interrupt anyone's like rainbow and flowers and happy moment, but we are tired. I need to say it. We are exhausted. I need to say it. We could have stopped, but we couldn't. We want to stop, but we can't, because we have a huge responsibility. So, sometimes you have to listen to the person behind the idol, not just the numbers, not just the ranks, because of course that it's important and it also adds to, this is why they do what they do, the numbers, of course. But you also have to think about what's going on with their mental state, what's going on with all the sacrifices that they do to be there, and if they're happy doing it. Because then you have these idols, these former idols, leaving the groups, and then you of course have a lot of conspiracies about, oh, why did they leave the group? I'm sure they done something wrong. And no, sometimes people do realize that the idol life sucks. That it's not that they got into a fight with someone, or that they didn't like someone, or they fought among the members, or that they fought with the CEO. It's more about, the idol life sucks, and I'm tired, and I want to quit. Like, get me out of here. get me out of here. Like, I'm sorry for everyone that is watching, but I'm not happy, so get me out of here. Just like any job, you know. Yes, yes. Can you imagine how many nights they maybe they were like, oh, I wish I didn't win this award so I can stay at home. Yeah. And also the haters, because it's like, oh, you got this award or you didn't. Like, there's always someone complaining. So. Okay, who's next? I think that someone mentioned that they wanted cards for Everglow. Mm, yeah. The reason boy groups last longer are the core fans keep them afloat. Girl groups have public attention, but that lasts like second and it moves to the next new group. That's why it got disbanded a lot. Mm, I don't know. And then I'm going to pull cards for Onew. Everglow. These girls are also like in a sort of battle with authority. And they got the card of facade. So what's going on with Everglow? Because I definitely do sense that they have an offer, like they have the possibility to come back, to do a comeback. But somehow, then again, the girl groups with the Seven of Wands, they always are protecting themselves. They're always like, and they are in a sort of like argument or battle with someone. Possibly since they got the Emperor, possibly it's like an authority figure, like, or again, a higher up, and they are like a bit on the, like they are like on the defensive side, like on, yeah. mm. Their tour were cancelled because they only sold like 90 tickets. Oh, we don't know, they have been so silent this year. It's a rush. I hope Everglow has a comeback. Yes, go to sleep. um Yeah, they got also the card of Assad. So there's something, about them actually being tired of having this facade. Probably things are not okay. Things are not okay. Jackson Wang. Um, yeah, they actually are being offered to have a comeback, but I think that they do not want to. They are a bit resistant, they're a bit on the they are fighting someone. Either they don't agree on certain things, but they are like, we will not continue this facade. Like, I need to connect with, like, I don't know. What I mean about groups not having a core fandom and is why they disbanded. Yes, it's a Chinese company was the reason they don't have K fans much on their side. Yeah, yeah, yes, they are a bit, they are like, they are really not happy. They are a bit angry. They are a bit angry because that the guy or the person that actually is in control of things is very authoritarian, or probably is very harsh with the way he communicates things, and he wants things fast. And they are like, no, we are not doing this like this. No, we need time. They need time. They need time because each one of them are going through, like, they don't want to be fake, they want to remain like true to themselves. And they are like about, like, we don't want to keep, like, we don't want to keep doing this. We don't want to be fake. We don't want to show fans that. And actually they do have a good chemistry among each other. Like, they do have like a lot of teamwork. They do have like a group dynamic, but they also have like a strong desire to shine on their own. So I don't know if maybe some members are having like individual proposals, or some gigs or some things that are being sort of delayed because they are not making any progress. So yeah, they are a good team. Yeah, because they got a lot of ones, so definitely these girls are very like fiery. If they have to fight, they will fight. Yeah, for them to come back, they got the tower. So for them to come back, a lot of things had to be destroyed. Like, let's start from zero, or let's end this. Like, I don't know. There's like something has to be, an ending has to come, like something has to be rebuilt again. So I don't know, that's the only condition they will come back. If, I don't know, either they break or they do things differently, but they do not want to hold the facade again. They do not want to keep doing, um, you know they're very real people. They are like, oh, this doesn't represent me, I'm getting out of here. And there's a lot of like shouting. Okay, let's put some cards for Onew since he's a Sagittarius. I don't know if his birthday was very soon or if it happened already. There's this lady again. I guess I did pull some cards for him in the past, and this Queen of Cups came out, and now there she is again. This Queen of Cups. Oh, again, someone that is feeling inferior. Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Two of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and from the Oracle he got the card of Insecurity. So yeah, I think that he definitely does have I mean, he's much more independent that he used to be. I mean, he's working on himself. He's definitely like feeling a bit more brave, but somehow he's not free yet. He's not free from the past. He still feels very tied up to the past, very tied to this. It's not, remember when I pulled cards um, for Minho, the atmosphere was totally different. In this case, I feel like for Onew, things are not easy, especially mentally. He does struggle a lot. He tries to show a side of himself where he tries to show that he is very confident, or that he's very happy with everything that represents the group. But in the end, he still feels unworthy. He still feels like a lot of guilt. a lot of guilt inside of him, a lot of guilt. Um, and it doesn't matter how much people praise him or how much people tell him that he's the best, he doesn't believe it. He has the page of Pentacles, so he sees himself like this. He sees himself like a beginner, like an amateur, like someone that is still learning, and this is actually shows how humble he is. But at the same time, I think that he's a bit limited. We always talk about how Sagittarius is expansion. And I think that in his case, he wasn't able to expand himself. And I'm not talking as an artist, I'm talking as a person. It seems like seeing him represented by this page of pentacles, he gives me this vibe of him feeling like a teenager. I don't know at what age he debuted, but it seems like he got stuck in that era. Like he's still like in the teenager era. He sees himself as a teenager. He's stuck. I don't know if he's a millennial because this is actually a millennial thing. We do get this feeling that we are stuck in our teenage years, and actually we are like coming very very soon to our near our 40s. But there's this sense of him actually like not knowing still who he is or his value. um, he has the potential to release something very soon. He definitely is working on something. He's working on himself. He's a very hardworking guy. It's just that I think that he's too emotional. This is very different from Minho. He's too emotional. His emotions rule him. And sometimes he doesn't do things because he cares, he's worried about the others. So if he is the leader, it does make sense. He tries to be this sort of like mother figure. So how the two of wands is looking at the horizon, like making plans and thinking like, oh, the world could be mine. I could conquer many things. I could actually like do a lot of things. I could create a lot of things. Then he's looking at the past with this queen of pentacles, with this queen of pentacles, cups. He's looking at his past self, or he's looking at his past decisions, and he's like being nostalgic. He's caught in a net of emotions that doesn't let him like um move on. I think that um I think that it's until 94. Yeah, I think that he's doing great. I mean, like he is like, I think that it's very hard for him to open up to people because people see him and being like, oh, he must be really like splendorous and glamorous, and actually he's a guy that he has life traumas, and for him it's really hard to grow up actually. And this is not his fault actually. I think that this is the dominance and the this is the like um the influence of others. It seems like he had always been like looking for what others expect of him. So he never made a decision for himself, actually. It is very different from Minho, that Minho is more on the like, I'm going to do what I want. Very connected to his desire. In the case of Onew, he's always thinking about others. And also, he had the card of insecurity. So definitely he has to work on his own desires, on his own, not only on his love life or on his capacity for love. It's also about his desire. I think he was a lot of time restricted to not desire things, or to somehow repress his desire. I don't know if he was. I'm sensing like a lot of a mother figure, because this Queen of Cups always comes out. So I don't know if he has like a mother that it's very like, like not letting him grow, or not letting him expand or talk about how he feels and what he wants to do. So he definitely should work on his insecurity. Like he should work on his passions, because he has to express this side of himself, whether it's through music, through creation, through exercise, through moving the body. This chakra is the chakra of the body, of the fire inside of you. So he has to acknowledge that he has desires, there's something. I think that also his sexuality is a bit blocked. His sexuality is a bit blocked. Like probably he is a guy that has desires, but somehow he was like restricted to not be sexual. Like there's a lot of restriction in there. I'm sorry that this has nothing to do with his career, but I'm sorry. He always gets, his readings are always this. This is why there are certain idols that I just wish that I didn't read, because they are so lost, or they are so deep as people, that you cannot help to see it, to see the insecurity, to see the not so glamorous side of them. Monster X are coming back, really? Okay, so he isn't secretly married with a family. Oh, we can ask, because that I said that this could be his mother, but maybe this could be a potential wife, because it's not the first time. I remember when I did a reading for him on my channel, that he got this queen of cups, and now there she is again. Is he married? Because I don't know. I got the Five of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So there's this sense of like he had a long-term relationship with someone, but that relationship ended. But this is a new female. This is a new female. This is not the Queen of Cups. This is an earth sign. This is a Queen of Pentacles, and you can see these cards of connection. So definitely a bond is here, but then you have the Five of Cups here. So I think that there could be like a connection there, but there's also a grief in there. So I don't know if maybe they weren't allowed to be together. Something happened, but definitely they do love each other. A connection there's a connection. There's a connection. There's a very strong, because not only they got the Two of Cups, they got the Knight of Cups as well. So there's like there's a reciprocity in there. They both love each other. It's not just like one-sided thing. So probably there's someone. that is not that queen. It's not that Queen of Cups. It's the different one. Yeah, but it's a strong commitment. It's a very stable commitment. Mm. Yeah, but he's happy probably. Probably because I sense that this card is very stable. So okay, let's pull some cards for Jackson Wang. Let's pull some cards for Jackson Wang. Wow. Hmm. Here the card, the Hierophant, the Strength card, the Magician, King of Swords, the Moon. And then they, from like an advice, he got the card of prayer. So I think that for him, definitely, um, I don't know. I think that he's a very strong guy. He's very much in his power, and definitely you can sense here that he is like, he definitely is his own boss. He got all these cards of being really powerful, of actually like him making his own rules. He is in power. He also got the King of Swords, so probably he's also like very much involved in the not only the creative process but also about the communication. What he says and what he reveals and what he shares and what he delivers is what he wants. He is like his own company. He is the physical representation of his company, of his brand. He is a one-man show in this time in his life. He is like he makes the rules because he got the Hierophant, so he's like this sort of moral. He breaks. He makes the rule. He breaks the rules. He takes over the production. He got the Magician, so definitely he is in power. But definitely he is in this very like a strong, he is in this very strong like state where he will not let others speak for him. He's going to tell his message. He's going to be very cutthroat. He's also going to put a lot of people in their places, and I think that he wants to make justice happen. I think that definitely for Jackson, he had been told to not say a few things, or to not reveal things, or to not talk, or to not mention things, and now he's like, you're not going to tell me what to do or how to say or how to behave. I'm going to show you clarity. Like there's something about Jackson when we know that he's an Aries, but there's something about him, like he definitely is not a fake person. So he definitely is going to piss people off because of how frontal he is, and that's something that he does struggle a lot, because even though you see that he's in charge of his creation, and actually he's going to do really well because he is in his power, inside of him there's the Moon card. So definitely Jackson does have his inner demons, like in the sense that he probably goes through a lot of mood swings, and when he's by himself he feels very lost and he gets very confused. Like for him, life, for him himself, as a person, as an individual, as the guy behind or outside the persona, like behind the magician, he is not that, he doesn't have all the answers. He's still in the search of who he is. And I would say that he is in this state where he's like in this period where he's like somehow like in this phase of the dark side of the of of the soul. You know, we call this when you are going through a very strong moment of you getting to know yourself. You are like in this the dark night of the soul, where you are in the dark about yourself. I think that yes, you do have this very powerful guy. He's going to achieve a lot. He's going to, you know, he's very powerful. He's in control. He's in control of his career, but he's not in control of himself. So don't, like, this is what I want to remind people, that just absorb of him his artistic side, absorb of him, like enjoy what he delivers, enjoy the music, enjoy the performance, enjoy, but don't get too like into wanting to know what's behind of him, like wanting to know him as a person, because actually he's very confused about who he is. He's very confused about what he wants. He's very lost. He probably is a bit depressed. He's a bit sad. So, but it's his own path, you know, is his own experience. So don't go too deep and think like, oh my god, what's going on with him, like is something wrong with him. He's going to be okay. He's just being human, you know, he's just being human. You know, he's a guy that he still doesn't know where he's heading, like as a person. You know, he has to do a lot of work on himself, and for him it's really hard to make that that work. You know, for him it's really hard to make that work because he's afraid of like that darkness in him. He's afraid of being alone. Actually, he's afraid of being alone. But it seems like somehow life pushes him to be alone and pushes him to situations where he has to take care of and actually like being like very like individual, you know, and actually that he's going to do great on his own, you know, that actually he's a one-man show, you know, like the magician. He can do great in his career by himself. But he fear, and this is not the first time that I say that when he is on his own, he gets very fearful. When he's alone, he gets anxious. He gets like a big, he freaks out because it's like, I fear being alone. I fear being with myself. I'm afraid of myself. Like, I feel like I'm claustrophobic when I'm by myself. Like, I start having these very recurrent feelings and thoughts and images, and I fear, maybe this guy even fears like going to sleep on his own. Like going to sleep alone by himself because he fears his darkness. So I don't know what is, I don't want to go that deep. I don't want to go that deep because this is an idol. But I think that in that darkness, maybe there's a trauma, there's something that happened that this is why he doesn't want to be alone, because he is afraid of what if I see something, you know, or what if I discover something. So, and then he got the card of prayer. So I think that this is very meaningful because the way he can heal his inner demons, or he can heal his insecurities or his unconsciousness, is by praying. He has to pray. Like, I don't, like, you know, I'm not into religion or you know, I don't, or magical thinking, you know, I don't advise people about this aspect. But in his case, whatever his beliefs are, he has to be faithful. He has to pray. Whenever he feels like he's losing control, like he's getting very agitated inside, where he feels lonely, he has to pray. Pray is going to dissipate all his fears. You're welcome, Mariska. Um, um, okay. Can you do a reading about how Chris Lee, SMCO, view maybe? I'm sorry guys if you hear noise in the background, it's just that they are talking because they are cooking and they are talking. So I'm sorry that you get to hear it. I don't know if I should like go to other room so we don't have this noise because I get very distracted. Okay, I'm going to put. Yeah, it's just that it makes me uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to pull these cards for um, um, Chris Lee, BYB. He got the Five of Cups, the Eight of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Wands. He definitely sees YB as hard work. Like he in the past he was feeling a bit like like a bit like they lost something, like they lost an opportunity. So for him it was like, okay, I cannot like stay sad about this. Like I have to move on, I have to keep working, I have to keep adding ideas, I have to be more flexible, I cannot be like sad. But definitely I think that um, I will have to cut the light, guys, because they are shouting and I'm getting very like uncomfortable, so I'm going to have to cut it. But I will be right back.